Hey there guys, I'm Jake, if it's a gamer, and this is Conarium. Now before we get into this, I know that I mentioned how I wanted to start doing things that are different and all of that, and obviously the first thing I put up since that announcement is an indie horror game. But rest assured, this isn't like some sort of horror game where I just found it and was like, I can make a video out of this, let's go ahead and just muscle through it. This is a little bit different in that it's a type of game that I have a particular sort of attraction to. It is based on Lovecraft, and I think we'll go a little bit deeper into that as we play the game. But rest assured that I have been told by multiple friends of mine in the YouTube community that this is a solid game, and yeah, I'm optimistic. Let's go and get started.
All life is only a set of pictures in the brain, among which there is no difference betwixt those born of real things and those born of inward dreamings.
Alright, here we are, getting started. So, I'm sure that you've noticed, just at the very beginning of this, that the imagery is quite odd. And the reason for that is that this is a Lovecraft-based game. Now, a lot of you, I'm sure, if you know anything about me, understand that Lovecraft is one of my personal favorites in the horror genre. Now, if you're unfamiliar, H.P. Lovecraft was an author between the early 1920s to the late 1930s, just before his death. I believe he died of cancer, if I'm not mistaken, in his intestinal tract or something like that. It was very painful, is my understanding, and he did not enjoy his final years. Very similar, actually, to Edgar Allan Poe in the sense that he was not very well celebrated in his years of life.
There are things that cannot be undone.
But yeah, Lovecraft wrote a lot of different novellas and stories and stuff, but the consistent theme was based off of the mythos of Cthulhu, and you know, the idea that there are concepts and beings and creatures that live before our time and our comprehension, coming from generally from space, but you know, even being on Earth, but nonetheless, a lot of things that would drive the normal individual insane. Just the comprehension that your life really is not important, and that the majority of things that happen in our ether really are outside of your understanding or comprehension. And this game itself is actually based off of one of the you know, novellas that Lovecraft wrote. I believe it was in 1936. I read it a while back, and I also listened to the audio recording. Sorry, I'll get to the gameplay in a second. But it was based on At the Mountains of Madness, which is one of my favorites personally of Lovecraft's stories, and we'll delve deeper into what that was all about as we play this.
Dr. Faust, is that you? Oh, my head. The pain. It is unbearable.
So some sort of device here in the middle of the room.
The pain is subsiding. I thought my head was about to explode.
Right. What the fuck is this?
This device. Its noises are resonating in my mind. This device.
Okay.
Its noises are resonating
Like some piece
in
of
my mind.
technology that's kind of just in the middle of the room, like creating some sort of pulsing noise. That was honestly kind of unpleasant to even listen to through my headphones. But yeah, so this story of oh, hold on a sec. We got a little note here. I think I'll go over that in a second. All right, before I read this, I want to make something abundantly clear for any of you who might be curious. I am not currently sitting at my computer. I'm sitting on my couch, playing this on my TV. It's a very luxurious and nice little setup I have going on right here, but it does make it a little difficult to read sometimes. So if I get a word wrong or I might struggle a little bit, I apologize in advance. 1949, so this game takes place a good bit after the story of H.P. Lovecraft's novella. Observation notes of the 4th initiation session, I believe. Is that what that says? Yeah, I could be wrong. I can't tell what this word says exactly. 7:05 p.m. All the participants consumed the... I don't know what the fuck that word is. Mixture 5 minutes ago, and they have entered some kind of altered state of consciousness. All of them are now vaguely mumbling in their sleep, like they are chanting something, but the sounds are not conscious. They seem restless. I detect movements in their limbs, and as always, I wonder if it is because of something they are actually seeing beyond. 10 minutes later, as always, the device is humming and growing, but this time the atmosphere is different to the previous sessions. Whatever the reason for this might be, it feels almost like the fantastic device is signaling something in a code I don't recognize. It is becoming more and more stressful to be alone here in the midst of the cold, dim, and incense-filled room. 4 minutes later, it sounds to me like the intensity of the subject's mumbling is much stronger now. Colors and shades are dancing on the walls with the rhythmic ins and outs of the device. I can hear the wind howling outside. Maybe a snowstorm is approaching or something even worse. 5 minutes later, exactly 5 minutes and 3 seconds have passed now. They have drifted beyond in my area of expertise and guidance. I cannot do anything further except wish for their safe return. So, some sort of experiment's being conducted involving this device that's causing some less than pleasant reactions.
It's too dark. To be safe, I better find a light source.
True. It's oh, I think I found one. Give me that. Yeah, we can turn it on here. Yeah, so, the novella I was referencing earlier takes place, I believe, in the 30s. I'm pretty sure it takes place in the time frame that the story was actually written. And I believe it was based in the Antarctica. Like, there was an expedition that these 4 scientists went on. I can't remember exactly what it was to study, but they went on this expedition and discovered some less than pleasant things along the way. I'm trying to figure out if I want to spoil the story or not, because it's really neat.
Here?
If you want to check it out yourself...
Where is everybody?
Sorry, but if you want to check it out yourself, the story is online. It's also got an audiobook reading. It's about 4 hours long on YouTube if you want to listen to that, by Ian something. I can't remember his name. I got a little ship here. What does that say? On the backside, the Upuaut, I don't know what the fuck that is. Expedition Wheeler Pequod. Huh. That's one thing I always... Ooh. Ooh. Right off the bat, we're getting some interesting imagery. That's the thing I love most about the Cthulhu mythos, is the design of so many of these creatures and, you know, just how ominous everything is. Supervisor Nikolai Hansen? I think that's Hansen. Explanation, expected snowstorm. A strong snowstorm is expected to hit for the next 2 weeks. It is in utmost importance to take all the cautionary measures and inform the responsible personnel when going outside. Please be aware that the radio connection between the base and the ship may not be available during this period. So, I don't know exactly how close a relationship this has with the Lovecraft story itself. I know in the Steam page it does say that it takes place after that story, and that it does at least have some loose connection to it, if not more than simply loose. But it also says how there were 4 scientists going on an expedition, you know, in the summary, so it also seems to kind of be mirroring things a bit. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be a retelling, or if it is a sequel, or both. I'm not really sure. It's hard to say for certain based off of what I've read. But anyway, familiar visits in the lower chambers once more in the form of a black cat. Its spectral image echoes throughout the 7 rooms. What Sin called it, out from its hollow, looming, dim, and ghost-like. Yeah, but based off of the wind that I'm hearing, it seems as if we might be in the Antarctic once again. You know what? I think that I'm going to go ahead and talk about the story.
Locked. Looks like we're having a power problem right now.
By the way, this guy sounds like Ewan Rion, or whatever his name is, the one who plays Ramsay Bolton in Game of Thrones. I just noticed that. Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about the mountain, or At the Mountain of Madness. I can't remember the title. I always mess it up. And if you don't want to have that story spoiled, go ahead and listen to the audiobook or read it, and then come back to me. But one of the interesting things about that story is I'd always been a big fan of Lovecraft mythos and the idea of it, but I hadn't ever really read any of the stories themselves. I just liked the concept of Lovecraft. But that story was interesting to me because, ooh, finally a door that opens. Oh, what's this say? Sorry, 1 second. Auxiliary power needs to be enabled manually from outside. Fantastic. But it was interesting to me. It almost kind of ruined the mystique of Lovecraft to me, because it went over a lot of aspects and explained a lot of, you know, what these creatures are and their history. Stop those bloody sessions. I guess it's referencing the experiments that have been going on. Health notice, Dr. Johann DeWitt, due date, explanations, nothing regarding that. Attention crew members who are having problems sleeping. Examinations conducted regarding the increase of accidents recently led me to believe that the reason behind them is some kind of intense cabin fever. Symptoms for this problem are insomnia, severe headaches, seeing visions, or hearing voices. Crew members who are suffering from the above symptoms are required to refer to me personally for a thorough checkup. This will also be the main topic of the general meeting that will be held tomorrow after lunch. This issue poses serious problems regarding safety at work, so it must be taken heed, it must be taken heed of soberly. Medical practitioner sign. Another thing I should probably mention is that usually with Lovecraft stories, they tend to start off kind of slow. And that's normal, so if this bores you at first, rest assured that, in my experience, most Lovecraft stories, you know, get going after a bit. And if this is true to form, that'll be the case. It's also not extremely long, it's only about 3 hours. It seems as if this character doesn't really remember much about what's going on, which would fall in line with the Steam page. I don't know if he's having amnesia, or if it's just... he just has a bad memory in general, or whatever it might be. But, it seems to be purposefully ambiguous as to what's going on. So, pretty large, facility here. These graphics are kind of reminding me a bit of Firewatch. Obviously a completely different environment, but similar art style. Ooh. Wait, what was that? Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Let's go back to journal. No electricity. I found that the Antarctic expedition base has been enveloped in darkness and some of the appliances are not functioning due to the power outage. But why has no one attended to the problem so far? Where is everybody? I'd better find a crew member. I woke up from a series of blurry nightmares isolated inside these somewhat foreign walls. In one of my pockets, I found an empty notebook in which I am writing my notes. I can't remember anything other than... Yeah, here we go. Anything other than there should have been others here with me. The names of Dr. Faust and Dr. DeWitt are lingering in my mind right now. Additionally, trying to delve deeper into thoughts gives me sharp pains in my already throbbing head. I better find a crew member and find out what's going on here as soon as possible. So that's all that's going on so far. We just need to figure out what the deal is.
My mind is cloudy. All I can remember is the successful establishment of the Upuaut Antarctic base. And after that, nothing is clear in my mind.
Hold on a second. Oh, that's pretty cool. So yeah, we're just trying to get our wits here and turn on the lights. That's really all we can do up to this point. What's on over here? I don't think I can sprint at the moment. Okay. Still trying to get an understanding of these controls a little bit. Oh, what was that?
There's a strong light shining over there. Somehow it reminds me of a lighthouse.
I, for whatever reason, feel as if I should probably close that. But yeah, I was mentioning earlier how that story, as well as a lot of Lovecraft stories, especially the Necronomicon, give a lot of explanation as to what the deal is with these creatures that exist in the Cthulhu mythos. And interestingly enough, there seems to be a lot of factions, or not necessarily factions, but divide. You know, almost that of a regular civilization. There was this one creature that is created that plays a big part in the story that I referenced earlier, that this is based on. And there's like a hidden city and stuff like that. Which is sort of what the story is based around. And these creatures called like the Elder Ones, I believe, created this organic being that sort of creates other things, almost that of like a robot, but it's organic, but it was kind of like a robot or like an AI. And they would basically created this city within Antarctica, and evidently that creature basically destroyed the Elder Ones or drove them out or something like that. It was kind of like humans creating like an old version of the story now of humans creating AI and then the AI overthrowing them, like creating a more advanced being that replaces them.
Tank is empty.
Okay, so I need to fill it with some gas, I suppose. Sorry, I know that I have a tendency to go slow with this stuff. I don't know, I'm just taking my time.
Locked.
Yeah, I should probably speed it up, though.
Tank is empty.
Damn it. Alright, so... gotta fill it up with some gas, but I don't really know where to go for... Oh, here we are. Perfect. But yeah, just in general, I'm not really sure what to expect out of this, because, like I said earlier, a lot of Lovecraft stories have a very, you know, slower beginning, so I don't really know if I'm supposed to expect, like, a bunch of jump scares early on, or what the deal is. Is there something else I'm supposed to do with this? Doesn't seem like it. Oh. Key? Oh, I bet... Okay. Do I do something with that? No? Alright, then what's the deal? Oh, I opened this with the key. Yeah, okay. Got it. What's this? H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, there we go. At the Mountains of Madness. Madness is spelled improperly, but whatever. Is that it? Do I rotate it? Do I look at anything else? Doesn't look like it. I'll just take it. So... was that it? Was that the whole purpose of this room? Okay. So I refilled that. Is that really all I need to do? I feel like I should... oh, right. I need to flip the breaker. I'm an idiot. Completely forgot about this. I can't move at the moment. Now I can. Imagine trying to remove this would be a bad idea, so I'm going to go ahead and just leave that alone. And, I don't know. Close the door for the sake of cinematics and what's not. So I guess I just need to go back now. Oh, there is a sprinting option. Oh, I feel like a dumbass. It's just like an unconventional button for that sort of thing, so that's why it kind of surprised me. It's the right bumper for a controller. Once again, sitting on a couch, so... cannot use keyboard and mouse. I know a lot of people scoff at that sort of thing, but I don't know. I think there's something to be said about comfortability over precision. I'm not playing fucking, you know, Counter-Strike here. Anything else with this? No? Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. Hello. You just popped up out of nowhere, didn't you?
What was that?
Indeed. Yeah, sorry, I keep getting interrupted regarding that Mountains of the Madness story. But, it made the mystique of, like, these Cthulhu creatures a little bit less so, simply because, it sort of humanized them almost. Like, they're capable of being overthrown themselves and creating things that they're incapable of controlling. I remember it also made reference at one point in the story that, it became too cold for these creatures, so they had to reside or rescind back to like a subterranean body of water, and it was like, okay, so they're vulnerable to the elements as well, and it was just like, I don't know, made them more not necessarily human, but just organic and relative. Like, oh, they can get super cold too. It's like these fucking squid monsters need jackets.
If his coat is just right here, where is he now?
But yeah, I don't know. Nikolai Gogol, excuse me, the portrait. I'm not familiar. Wait, I can't take it? Alright, whatever. Yeah, I guess fair enough. Don't want to steal, I suppose. Give me that. I found a walkie-talkie.
Locked.
Whoa! Hello. Jesus. What the fuck are these? Like little wooden things. Huh.
If his coat is just right here, where is he now? Locked. It's locked.
So, the point here is that a lot of these guys that went with us on the expedition are just missing now without any real explanation. They didn't take their coats, they didn't do anything, so did they just up and leave? Did somebody take them? What's going on here, you know? Also, what's with all this, like, smoky, hazy stuff going on? James Barlow. MC Blake. His door opens.
It's stuck.
So I need to... Oh. Can I pry it open with this? I don't think I can pry that open with this. No, no. Never mind. Looks like a handle. So I can use that to attach to something. Something that I'm not certain of yet. What's this? Oh, it's another one of those things. See, there's allusions to an older city, as you can see on this map here. It looks like it says Cyclopean City, which would be odd. Mountains of Madness, yeah, right there. So, anyway. 1949, 9:15 p.m. After our haphazard and momentary aerial exploration of the unholy, utterly alien Cyclopean, I guess? Cyclopean? I don't know. Maze of square, curved, and angled blocks, we could detect most of the locations revealed by the previous Miskatonic University expedition leader, the professor, okay, yeah, this is our protagonist of the story, William Dyer. Right, so I wanted to be certain, yeah, William Dyer is the protagonist from the Mountains of Madness story. And also, by the way, while I was just taking a look at the information, that story takes place in 1930 to 1931. So there's also that. Anyway, but what we are looking for is not there inside the haunted Shoggoth ruins. By the way, Shoggoth right there, that is the creatures I was referencing before that overthrew the ancient ones or the elder ones or whatever it might be. According to various sources, it should be in the much older ruins beyond the Elder City, right on the edge of a mountain beyond the Mountains of Madness. It was built over a location deeply shunned even by the Elder Things, and built long before the colossal city Dr. Dyer and his team explored. Now we set foot upon lands no one has ever seen before, a vast mass of dry land around the South Pole which rose from the primal waters when the old ones seeped down from the stars. A place so evil, most of the arcane sources hesitated to record it at all, while some murals within the Elder City depicted it with obvious repugnance and trepidation. So that's the other thing, like I was mentioning before. These creatures, there are levels of them and factions of a sort. And so there were references in the story that there was this great evil that wasn't fully explained by any of the hieroglyphics or any references in the city itself that the Elder Ones, and I don't remember the Shoggoths, but at least the Elder Ones showed in imagery. But there was a creature, or there was a character in the story that as they were flying away from the city at the very end of the book, or the very end of the story, there was Dyer and his associate, or like a student aide or whatever it might be. And,
Did I lock my door? I don't remember where my keys are.
And the student looked outside of the plane and he saw something that drove him absolutely insane. And the theory is that he saw the great evil, whatever that might be, that lied beyond the city. And it seems that the Elder Ones were terrified of whatever this was. So I'm figuring whatever this great evil is, it's probably Cthulhu himself, but can't be certain of that. Hidden plants of great antiquity, excuse me. That's it for that. Oh, hello. Okay. 1949. These nightmares have become unbearable. I still see the same man in the nocturnal visions, but now he is holding something in his hand, which I believe to be the lotus flower. We seem to be continuing this grave and serious conversation again and again, but I still can't remember the contents. During working hours sometimes, I hear this voice through the radio. It is not in a form of meaningful sentences, but more like some unconscious mutterings. I'm afraid to tell anyone about this, for I hate the very idea of the suspension I will probably be facing. What's behind here? I'm hoping as I'm looking through this stuff I can find something that will indicate as to how I open that device up in the other room. Oh, we got a book here. What does this say? One of the composite sculptures we've come across during our initial field trips. It is an open third eye on its forehead as well as inside its hand, which I think indicates some kind of state of knowing, because allusions to knowledge and elder things recur all the time in almost every what the hell, bas relief? I don't even know. we have discovered so far. All this leads me to believe these creatures inhabiting those halls have acquired some kind of knowledge from the elder things fabled creatures of primal myths. Several other examples. Yeah, and these are... Okay. Interesting imagery. Several other examples of the composite sculptures ranging from humanoid to reptilian in shape. They were mostly damaged and generally in a really bad shape. The lost parts were completed by the artist's imagination. The abundance of five-pointed shapes seen in the design of the structures we've come across cannot be overlooked. In addition, most of the elegant figures adorning and staring silently from above most of the gigantic gateways are reptilian in shape. Wait, I want to take a look at the imagery here. Alright. By the way, that's just fantastic. The grotesque masonry caused an uproar with the countenance it wore on its reptilian face when we first found it residing within the almost substantial darkness of the cave where it had been carved in eons past. Some of the crew even claimed that they had heard some muffled laughing sounds coming from within it. The pine cone it was guiding or hiding with its humanoid hands has some symbol carved into it in which we are yet to decipher. Huh. Some creepy shit, man. Wait. Okay, those are just gloves. I was like, are those fucking hands? Not ready for this, man. What's this say? Johann de Witt. Pretty sure in the other room. So we got another note here. I'm inclined more towards the notion that our nocturnal visions are not just faint and fantastic reflections of our waking experiences. Every time I pass into a state of dormancy, somehow I explore while I am dreaming the vistas of grandeur. An alien prospect is an unnatural disposition, so vividly expressing the outer extent of this world I have yet to discover. If only I was endowed with the artistic skill I describe my visions. Artistic skill to describe my visions. All I know is that all this became evident after the Conarium sessions had started. Even though I am not one of the participants, I am somehow affected. I feel I am absorbed, while in an unconscious state, into the oblivion, crossing a line beyond the wall of sleep. Ferguson. I don't remember Ferguson being referenced before. Another picture. So, essentially, this device that they are having these sessions with, even if you're not a subject, if you're just being around this device is causing people to get pretty messed up. So, I'm assuming, now I don't know, but I'm assuming that that has a great deal to do with whatever's going on with all the people missing.
Locked.
We also got the radio room upstairs, so let's go and take a look at that real quick. See what the deal is up here. Just regular binoculars. Oh, here we are.
This is Upuaut Expedition Base. Pequod, please come in. I repeat, this is Upuaut Expedition Base. Pequod, do you hear me? If there is someone who can hear me, please, come in. Some electrical condition in the disturbed air seems to prevent communication. Some electrical condition in the disturbed air seems to prevent communication.
So I gotta figure out a way to fix that too. There's a lot of fixing going on here. Damn it. Okay, well let's take a look at this then. Morse codes table. Oh god, don't make me do Morse code. Had my fill on that with Stories Untold. I'm fine for a while on that, thank you very much. Victoria Land, Cape Washington, Ross Sea. various different areas. Report a snowstorm. Okay, it's just like basic information. Oh, hello. Oh, I thought I could take those for a second. I was a little excited. What about this camera? Nope. Huh. So what is the solution to this whole deal? Doesn't seem like it's in here. I'm guessing it's all just kind of related to that thing downstairs to some capacity. So I should probably just figure out what the hell is going on with that. I don't know. Like, how can I possibly have the information to be able to solve that? Is it just purely guesswork? Do I just make assumptions? Oh, wait. This is, I think, an entirely different place. Yeah, I've not been here before, so there might be an explanation here. Place is bigger than I thought it would be. Let's see. J. DeWitt on psychoactive plants. I'm not going to try to say those words. Nothing over there. So is this... Wait, hold on a sec. This is the infirmary, so... Can't remember. Is DeWitt like a doctor? Is that what his role is? Just like a medical expert? Can't quite remember. What's this? What was it? Upuaut? That's probably not right, but whatever. Antarctic expedition. Statement of consent. By signing this document, you are agreeing to the terms written below. False statements made knowingly or willfully, including affidavits or other supporting documents submitted therewith, may be punishable. I hereby declare that I consent to perform my daily duties to the best of my ability, listen to the judgment of the expedition leader, Dr. Faust, and participate in a series of medical sessions as needed by the Upuaut Antarctic base. The risks of participating in the aforementioned medical sessions have been fully explained to me. Any questions I have regarding the procedure, why it is necessary, its benefits, and risks have been answered to my satisfaction. Therefore, I give my informed consent to the performance of the procedure by signing the statement of consent. So, obviously, this was a at least somewhat dangerous endeavor that they were engaging in. Otherwise, they wouldn't need to sign that form. There were complications that went with it. I mean, pretty clearly, that device was, you know, found, not necessarily created.
It's stuck.
Okay, so there's something on the other end of that. Storage facility. And also... canteen. I can't open this. Also, getting a lot of vibes of, like, The Thing.
Oh, it smells awful in here.
Which is pretty obvious. Makes complete sense, you know, like this, sort of bunker-like area that's out in, you know, the cold tundra. Ah,
Stuck.
That's why it was stuck. So, a bunch of rotten food around. I can't... Oh, yeah, okay.
It won't open.
Can't open that one. Not really anything to be seen here. It seems. Alright, well, I don't know. Maybe I missed something. I'll come back to it if I get stumped. We got another note here. All the members awakened without any problem except for Frank Gilman. All of a sudden, his heart ceased beating at around 1:45 a.m. He was extremely cold and there was no detectable pulse. While I was preparing to perform cardiac compression, he momentarily opened his eyes. I am unsure how much time passed since his heart failed to beat, but it can't have been more than 5 minutes. And then came the event that shook us all. The cause was the very words Frank uttered directly to Dr. Faust right after he awakened. I don't know how to explain it because his voice was muffled and almost indiscernible, but I am convinced that the voice I heard did not belong to Frank. As a medical doctor, I can say that this is not completely impossible for someone in his condition, but there was something wrong with what I heard. It was a sound that no human vocal cord could produce. So he was possessed? Is that like what I'm getting here? That some, like, creature took over his body momentarily and caused him to make noises of some sort at the people around. You know, the interesting thing about Lovecraft is that, like, there's a question as to whether or not, like, these creatures are even malicious or cruel. They're just superior, you know? Like, as in... By the way, actually, I think I know where this key goes to that I have for DeWitt now. Like, I think it was Stephen Hawking once said how, you know, if aliens ever did come to Earth, it would be the equivalent to Christopher Columbus and what they did to the American Indian, right? Okay, here we are. Thought so. I thought so. And that's kind of the way it looks, you know? It's just like they would just take what they could. They would, you know, experiment on us medically, most likely, just, you know, for scientific purposes, curiosity and whatnot, and just study for any potential advancements that they could incur. It's not necessarily cruelty in that sense, it's just like a higher being studying another one. Now, that's not the same thing, obviously, as, you know, the American Indian. That was more so a reference to, you know, one group committing violence upon another as a means of advancement. But, like, when it comes to the Cthulhu mythos, it would be almost as if us in comparison to ants. And that's what makes it so terrifying, yet almost understandable in a sense. Or comprehensible. Or, you know, I suppose is a better way of saying it.
If his coat is just right here, where is he now?
There's a note here. I've noticed a very curious and dangerous development in the psychological condition of the whole crew that compels me to record this note as an initial diagnosis report. The problem is intense for 3 subjects. The problem is especially intense for 3 subjects: Dr. Barlow, Dr. Anderson, and Frank Gilman. I believe Gilman is who we are playing, whom I have been inspecting closely since the onset of their psychological degradation. During the first 2 nights, the aforementioned subjects awoke screaming in their beds, thus affecting the demoralizing all the crew members. When I spoke to them personally, I noticed some serious deviations in their behavior patterns. As time progressed, I noticed deep changes in their mental conditions. When really pushed, they clearly started to behave like someone else, which led me to believe I was facing some sort of multiple personality disorder, but it is too early to draw any conclusions. Other subjects are not too far a cry from their normal personalities, but the difference is, of course, obvious. Their condition is getting worse day by day, and a serious medical examination is needed to be carried out on everybody displaying such symptoms. I informed Dr. Faust and warned him about the consequences. He looked worried. Sorry, I didn't see the period there. He looked worried, but nevertheless hasn't mentioned it to me since. With the weather conditions we have been having lately, it seems extremely unlikely that we shall receive professional help from the outside world or will be able to send anybody away for a thorough medical examination, which is the only sane thing to do under the circumstances. So they're completely cut off, and there's not really much they can do about it. Oh, we got one. Well, we're making progress, at least. Oh, nice. Okay. Jesus Christ, that took way longer than it should have. Well, here we go, it looks like. Oh, nice. Well, that's not off-putting whatsoever. Hello.
Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Frank. Frank Gilman.
Is that so?
Is there a problem with that?
My name is Frank Gilman, an anthropologist joining this expedition upon the invitation by Venerable Dr. Faust himself.
this thing is claiming that it's me. That's absurd. Why?
Oh, we've got dialogue options. Where is everybody?
Where is everybody?
They are here.
I don't see anybody around. Are you sure?
I don't see anybody around. Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, then.
What do you know about Dr. Faust?
He is the grand mastermind and the pioneer of this expedition.
You're claiming that you are me, Frank Gilman, but you are just a machine.
And you are just air.
Oh, well, shit, he had to come back.
Air? What do you mean by that? It doesn't answer me.
He doesn't like you.
Okay, Frank. Tell me, why are you here exactly?
I am here because of my extensive knowledge on the human pineal gland. I am one of the Conarians.
Conarium?
Voyagers beyond.
Beyond? What beyond? No answer.
Huh. I found a secret. Hold on a sec, I'm trying to remember. There we go. The self-operating machine I found in Dr. Blake's room. What the fuck? Oh. So, that strange device fascinated and horrified me in equal measure. It seems that it is able to reply to my questions with logical answers. How could that be possible? Its eyes were so devoid of meaning that they disturbed me deeply. Above all, after speaking with it, I sense explicitly a feeling of forlornness, as if loneliness is starting to give way to such singularities, signifying that I shall continue to be a stranger inside this desolate place, all alone for some time. How many secrets have I found? Is it just these two? Yeah, okay. So... and I still only have 2 journal entries. Okay, well that's one answer solved here. We've still got the one up in the radio, though. And I'm not sure how to take care of that one. Yeah, I'm having a really hard time understanding exactly how to do that whole thing with the radio, so I'm just gonna hope that I can come back to that at some point. And we're going to head back to where we were before. Because I noticed that there was like an elevator or something like that. Hey, is that... okay, I was gonna say, I thought I might have dropped my flashlight or something. Right, we got a thing over here. Hold on a second, let's look through. No? Nothing? Alright, so I guess we can just descend. And let's do that. Let's keep it going.